Hi, folks. This is Don and Linda with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, Linda, one of the things that I've become aware of this week is that the DEC is really clamping down on their policy for deer hunting in the state for next year. They want to know people's reaction to this, too. Well, here's the point. We have more and more deer all the time in New York. The population is expanding tremendously. And you can imagine why that's so important, because there's, these deer in the same areas that they've always been. So there's only a certain amount of food for them. But more important, the more deer there are, the more it becomes a danger on our roads. Mm-hmm. And we know that the ticks that the deer carry Lyme disease. So that's something we should be aware of too.
Right. But you just mentioned enough food for deer. I would assume that if you have an overpopulation in an area, the resources for those animals will dwindle, and then they won't survive the winter. They simply won't be able to find food.
Well, that's true, but this is more a concern is what these deer do in feeding all the time on the food that they eat. Are they destroying the plants?
Yeah, the environment.
Yes.
Mean?
Yeah. Every single ecosystem has its very specific needs, and in this case, what they're considering is, we've always had a policy: when you go deer hunting, you're hunting for the male, the bucks, but you don't shoot the doe unless you have a doe permit.
Right.
Because they feel that not killing not using hunting as a way to lower the population of the female deer is critical,
right,
to maintaining that population. But now, since they're expanding, so the DEC is thinking that maybe we change some of the hunting conditions in most parts of the state to include more doe tags and allow people to, so that they're able to shoot females as well as male deer. Mm-hmm. It will somewhat change the sport, but I think it's come to that critical state right now, and the DEC is taking such a active role in doing the thing that I think it was formed for, which is to maintain this whole system in the state. They're the not only the conservation keepers, but they also set the laws and the policies, and so this is an important thing to think about, because we do the same thing with other animals in the state. We have policies that are there to try to make sure that those whatever the species is, that they can continue to survive in our state.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing with fish.
Yes.
This is a fishing report, so the same type of awareness applies to, okay, if we got too many of this kind of fish in the water, what do we do about it? And,
I know they do set the policies, and they will check when you've hosted tournaments for the town of Messina. They periodically will come and check to determine, are more than what the legal limit is allowed, are more being taken per day. So that's one of their roles as, conservationists, to make sure that there aren't too many harvested in one area of a river or lake.
As far as the tournaments go, their main concern, I think, is, let's go look at these fish that are being returned to the water. Are they being returned to the water in a healthy state?
Right.
Are these fish going to die? Are these tournaments going to strip our population? Mm-hmm. And it's the same type of management policy that takes place in all the life in our area.
Right. That's certainly important if we want to preserve and protect our natural resources.
Yeah, and Linda, the thing of it is, you have gone and downloaded apps, or what have you done so that you've kept, you constantly are coming to me with new DEC results and stuff.
Yes.
So what would you recommend people do the same as you?
Well, if they're interested, if your listeners are interested in information that's provided by the DEC, they have a wonderful website, but they also provide a weekly newsletter. Sometimes there's more than one edition depending upon what you sign up for, but they have all kinds of information from information in the high peaks, the number of forest rangers that rescued people, any violations that occurred, municipalities and what they're seeing with respect to various harvests, fishing tournaments. There's a wealth of information on the DEC site. And for folks to go there, it's dec.ny.gov.
Well, in one of our reports, you commented how you don't know that much about fishing. But since you've been with me, your whole life is come into fishing now.
That's right.
So,
while I can't fish, I appreciate the fact that others can enjoy the sport, but also that there are so many individuals that are very, very protective of our rivers and streams, and so they should be.
And you make a statement like you can't fish, and let people understand what you're saying is you are not the greatest caster.
The eye-hand coordination is not there. Full disclosure.
But anybody can fish. That's
Sure.
what we try to pass on to them. Anybody can go and find a spot along a stream or
Of
along
course.
a lake or pond and find a comfortable place and sit down and enjoy just being there enthralled by the water.
And in fact, today we saw something very interesting in one of our local stores where there were lighted bobbers that would light up when they hit the water, which I thought was fascinating. So that would be a way to sort of practice your skill of casting.
How is that going to help you cast?
Well, once you cast it into the water, it's going to light up. So you'll get a chance.
So you'll become a better caster by it lighting up?
That's the thought process here.
Well, I'll tell you what the thought process to me is, what fascinates me is if you use a bobber, the whole reason you use it is it helps you see what's happening with your bait under the water.
Sure.
And so if you can see that bobber better, let's say it's getting nighttime and you cast that out on the water and all of a sudden there's a light out there and you can see that light if it bobs and goes in the water or whatever.
Exactly.
And you said the battery life is how long on those?
I don't remember exactly, but it fascinated me that this was something new that was being sold for the sport of fishing.
Yeah, well, there's always some new fantastic thing coming out on the market, and that's what we try to talk to people about.
That's fun.
So thank you, Linda. Now, the next report we do, I'll be asking the questions to you.
Okay.
Until next time, folks, this is Don and Linda with the North Country Fishing Report.